Windy day. Not much I can do about that. I don't have the kind of camera equipment with a windsock and all that kind of stuff, but you can see I'm already knee deep into it because I wasn't about to start filming until I knew for certain that I had the right one. So I have a sway bar up in there. I think it's actually going to be pretty close to working. It lines up pretty well. I need to get the bushings on it. This is from Helwig. It took me all of 6 weeks, 8 weeks to get this in. So sick and tired of supply chain shortages. I'm sick and tired of that excuse. The thing that's going to have to move for this to actually go active is going to be my steering stabilizer. I'm going to have to move that because they used right down here, this point right there. They used that to hook that up, which means it's right in the way of a sway bar. So I've got a little bit of work to do there. The Helwig, it's from Helwig, and it came with the bushings, which is cool, brand new bushings. This wind, holy cow. But it didn't come with any bolts, so I hope I've got the right ones. No end links, so I've got some lifted end links here from Skyjacker. So hopefully I've got everything I need to do this trick today. Okay, another little thing that's gonna have to be done. This bracket's not gonna fit there. I'm gonna have to cut off the ears right about here and make it fit in there. Otherwise it will. I think it's actually gonna work out pretty well. Going for the GM mounting point of the sway bar, it'll hit where the axle's at pretty well. So I'm feeling pretty good about this so far. Just gotta slice and dice a few things. Probably gonna weld some tabs for this right onto here and move it from there to here. We'll see. But otherwise I think it's gonna work. When I first opened these up, I was a little concerned. Now I'm not. They do have a split in them. From the factory there's a split, so that makes it a lot easier. Because I was worried about whether or not I could slip it over here. Nope. With a split though, you can do it. It comes with this assembly grease. I'm sure this grease is actually pretty good for keeping it from squeaking too much too. So slather a bunch of that in there and then be able to slip the bar into it. It makes me wonder about these bars. Did I do that? There's scrapes in them. I could have when I was test fitting it last time. I don't know. Either way, it's under the truck. The steel will be fine. This hammer powder coating stuff is pretty cool and all, but not the end all be all of what this is. Okay, so having that split in there is nice. I didn't see that before when I was opening it. See, I went under the truck, marked them. If those two cuts are the only cuts I have to make for this, that'll be great. If it fits really that well, that is going to be just amazing. The only other thing I have to deal with is that steering stabilizer, but this should be about as detailed as it gets. And moving that steering stabilizer, all I should have to do is weld on some tabs. But this should be fun. It looks like it's going to fit pretty well. Okay, things not going to plan. I think the Ford brackets are not going to work at all. You can see I can't get them to line up in there. I only bolted it up just to see the second part of how well it lines up from there to the mounting point here. It looks like it's a pretty much straight shot. I don't see that it's going to be in the way of any of the steering, but I do think I need to go get the Chevy brackets. And the thing I'm kicking myself for is I had a sway bar from the Ford that was with this axle when I bought it. I had a sway bar for a Chevy that was on the truck when I delivered it to HRC. I'm not blaming them at all. I should have picked up both of those parts and took them with me. Should have taken all of the bushings and stuff that were with it with me. I wouldn't be in this predicament, I don't think. So I need to measure the thickness of this bar, go get me the Chevy stuff that's bushinged for that. I don't know that I can find that in my local O'Reilly's. Not sure. I may have to order that one special order. But that kind of stops me today. The other thing you see, I have 6-inch lift bars, or the links anyway, that should mate to a Chevy. Ford is this way, Chevy would be this way, so they're not going to work. So I'm kind of at a stop today again because parts. I need more parts. It's towards the end of the day Saturday. I worked all morning. It's just the way my life is right now. I get things done as I can get them done. So let's go order more parts, see what we can get. Alright, parts came in, so let's get to work. The thing I need to figure out is I want the distance from here to here. I'm about to move it from that mounting point to a point here. My concern is whether or not it'll interfere with the differential over there. Try to get center line of that mounting point to center line of this one. I'm saying 21 inches. That's a nice number. I don't have to remember any fractions, but 21 inches should do that. That's a fun little brush. Got in there nice and neat. Alright, it's burned in. I did that with flux core, which when I get it right, I can do flux core okay on my MIG machine. It's not bad. I've had way better welds, sure, when I'm using gas, but it's on there. And it's on the bracket that comes from WFO. So that's a good place to weld without worrying about putting any heat into, which I doubt for a little tab I'm gonna put that much heat into an axle tube anyway. But that's a lesson. I've done that twice now. I don't even remember what I welded last, but I didn't shut off my freaking gas valve. And so over time that'll slow leak on out and it's gone. I have no more gas. I've got 2 empty bottles now, so I need to make a trip to air gas one of these days. I don't know. This should be burned on just fine. I'm thinking I'm just going to run it in single shear like this, unless I see it's a problem someday down the road, because that misalignment spacer on there seems to be part of the insert, so Not really sure, but for steering stabilizers, does double shear really matter when I'm not really beating this thing up off-road like that? I don't know. We'll find out in the future, won't we? All right, now I need to get the 21 inches for where that is centered up to where that is. And I hope I'm not in the way of actually banging into anything with the pumpkin or anything. If I am, we'll find out again, right? All right. Need 4 more inches. So these sway bar end links are from an F450 rear sway bar links, and they are going to work perfectly as soon as I lengthen them. These right here are the bushing mounts for an 1.125" sway bar, which this bar is, from Energy Suspension. Starting to see a lot of red polyurethane make its way under this truck. One of the things I did like is this right here. Hands in the way. It's a greasable Zerk fitting. I did have to cut to make it fit, but it fits a lot better than the links that came, or the bushings that came with this bar. There's all kinds of grease in there right now, but later on I can keep greasing it if I get noise. But that all fits. It's all going to be pretty good. I cannot pull that down, or else I would be in contact here. That one's not so much, the one on the other side definitely is. So it does need to be riding higher up here. I do need to add, what, about 4 inches of this, which is pretty simple. Alright, here it is, the end of a video that's months in the making. Right as I start filming, the wind picks up. Not much I can do about that. But those are Skyjacker end links for F250, 350, 450. 6 to 9 inch lift extension. You just search that up, you'll find it just easy. But yeah, that's both sides has it on. I haven't test driven it yet. We'll see if it makes any difference when I do. Kind of missed an opportunity this morning. If I'd had the bolts with me, I could have driven it on the highway this morning and see if there, because that's really where I want it to make a difference, is on the highway when I'm driving there. Because this isn't just a strictly off-road truck. I'm trying to find the right parts and pieces. I was able to get a Ford sway bar to fit the Chevy frame and the Ford axle. Might be a little tight on some of this stuff, but we'll find out as we go. Just worried about how long that bolt is on there. I may need to slice that one off in a little bit, just to make sure it clears the track bar mount right there. Other side's got plenty of room. But yeah, they're both all hooked up. Now we'll see if it does what I need it to do. If you follow along this long, or if you followed along this far, appreciate you watching. What for you was only a few minutes, for me was almost 6 months worth of fiddling around and trying to find the right parts and pieces. But yeah, there we go. Stay tuned for the next upgrade. If you're paying attention, you already see it. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.